The airport buzzed with its usual noise, rolling suitcases, distant announcements, and the chatter of travelers. Officer Melissa Rodriguez moved steadily through Terminal D, her eyes sharp but calm. At her side, Luna, her German Shepherd partner, walked with quiet confidence. Luna wasn't just any dog. She had a special gift, a trained instinct to sense when something wasn't right in people's behavior. Melissa trusted her with her life. "Easy, Luna," Melissa whispered, feeling the dog's calm presence beside her. But then, something shifted. Luna's ears perked up, her body stiffening. Melissa followed her gaze. There, near the baggage claim, a woman walked carefully, holding a baby wrapped tightly in a soft blanket. The baby was silent. Too silent. Luna's eyes locked on the woman, her posture tense. Melissa frowned. "Luna, what is it, girl?" Without warning, Luna let out a low whine, a sound she only made when sensing something deeply wrong. Melissa's heart quickened. They had trained for moments like this, but it never got easier. The woman moved slowly, her face unreadable, but the baby didn't stir, didn't cry, nothing. Luna's gaze stayed fixed, and her body became rigid. Melissa could feel the tension rising around her. Nearby travelers noticed the dog's alertness, and some gave curious, annoyed looks. A man passing by muttered, "What's the dog barking at now?" Melissa tightened her grip on Luna's leash. "She's not barking yet. Just stay calm, Luna." But Luna's warning grew stronger. She shifted, took a step forward, then barked sharply. The sudden sound echoed through the terminal. Heads turned. Phones appeared, recording the unexpected disruption. Melissa felt heat rise to her cheeks. "Luna, down. Easy," she commanded firmly. But Luna's barking didn't stop. It was urgent, insistent. The woman froze, clutching the baby tighter. Her eyes flicked nervously around, unsettled by the dog's relentless alert. Melissa stepped. Closer, voice soft but serious. "Ma'am, is your dog okay?" A security supervisor approached, frowning. "We don't need more chaos here." Melissa forced a calm smile. "She's fine, but I think there's something we need to check." The baby remained motionless in the woman's arms. No blink, no breath visible. Just stillness. Melissa's mind raced. She'd seen dogs alert like this before, usually when something was very wrong. "We're going to need to take a closer look," she said quietly, eyes never leaving Luna or the baby. The woman's face tightened. "There's nothing wrong. My baby's just sleeping." But Luna's gaze pierced right through, her words warning that this was no ordinary sleep. Something hidden lurked beneath the surface, and Melissa was determined to find out what. Luna's sharp barking echoed through the busy terminal, cutting through the usual airport noise. People stopped, turning their heads with annoyed expressions. Phones were raised, capturing the scene unfolding. Melissa felt her cheeks burn with embarrassment. "Luna, down," she commanded firmly, trying to calm her partner. But Luna's barking didn't stop. It was urgent, insistent, unlike any alert Melissa had ever heard. Travelers began to edge away, whispering to one another, some clearly irritated by the disturbance. Melissa could feel the tension mounting, not just from the crowd, but inside her. Luna was never wrong. The woman holding the baby stiffened. She clutched the child closer, her eyes darting nervously. Despite the noise, the infant remained perfectly still. No crying, no movement. That silence felt unnatural to Melissa. Babies usually fussed at loud sounds or sudden attention, but this one stayed like a statue. Melissa's voice softened, hoping to calm the woman and the situation. "Ma'am, can I ask how old your baby is?" she said, keeping her tone gentle. "Almost 9 months," the woman replied quickly, avoiding eye contact. Her voice trembled just a bit. "She's a good sleeper." Luna's gaze didn't waver. She circled the woman slowly, her growls shifting to low whines. Melissa's gut tightened. This wasn't just a nervous dog. Luna was sensing something deeply wrong. "Are you sure everything's okay?" Melissa pressed, watching the woman's reactions closely. The woman shifted, backing a step away. Yes, please, I need to get to my gate. We've been delayed for hours. Melissa noticed the expensive designer bag the woman carried, but the corners were worn oddly, like it had been handled roughly. Her polished nails gripped the baby's blanket tightly, betraying her calm words. Something didn't add up. Nearby, passengers whispered, some casting worried glances. One man muttered, "Why's that dog so upset?" Melissa answered herself silently, because Luna was protecting the innocent. The baby was silent, too silent, and the woman's unease told its own story. "We just want to make sure your baby is safe," Melissa said firmly, stepping closer. "Can you show me your travel documents, please?" The woman's eyes flicked away, hesitation flashing across her face. "They're in my checked luggage. The airline said it's not necessary to carry them." Melissa's heart pounded. The pieces were falling into place. This wasn't a routine airport stop. Luna's bark had broken the silence, revealing a secret no one else could see. Melissa guided the woman away from the curious crowd to a quieter corner near the airport's service area. Luna stayed close, her sharp eyes never leaving the baby, who still didn't move. Melissa's voice was calm but firm. "Ma'am, I need to check your identification and the baby's documents. It's standard procedure when traveling with an infant." The woman's fingers trembled as she dug into her handbag. "I told you, they're in my checked luggage," she said quickly, avoiding Melissa's gaze. Melissa nodded slowly, watching every flicker of expression. "We can't proceed without proper ID for both of you. It's for your baby's safety." The woman hesitated, then finally pulled out a driver's license. Melissa took it, examining it carefully. The Ohio license looked real at first glance, but something felt off. The plastic was too new and the holographic details didn't catch the light naturally. "Your license was issued just over a year ago," Melissa said quietly, "but it looks almost unused." The woman swallowed hard. "I don't know. I don't travel often." Melissa glanced toward the baby again. No stir, no twitch, not even a blink. That stillness weighed heavily on her. "And the baby's birth certificate or passport?" "It's in my luggage too," the woman repeated, her voice cracking. Melissa's heart tightened. "Babies usually move, make sounds, or react. Your baby hasn't done any of that since we arrived." The woman looked down, hugging the baby tighter. "She's just a very good sleeper." Luna growled low, stepping protectively closer. Melissa took that as a warning. This wasn't just a tired child and a nervous mother. Luna's instincts told her something darker hid beneath the surface. "Ma'am, I'm going to need you to come with me to security for further checks," Melissa said gently but firmly. The woman's face paled. "I don't want any trouble." Melissa kept her voice soft. "We're just making sure your baby is safe. It's important." As they moved toward the security office, Melissa's mind raced. The woman's stories didn't add up. Her documents seemed forged, and the baby's strange silence was impossible to ignore. Luna's intense focus confirmed this was no ordinary case. Melissa whispered to Luna, "You're right, girl. This feels wrong." Luna's amber eyes locked onto the woman, silent but clear. She was protecting that baby, no matter what. And Melissa knew they were about to uncover a secret that would shake the entire airport and change lives forever. The woman, her face pale and tight, was gently guided by Melissa toward a quieter room away from the busy terminal. Luna stayed close to the baby, her posture tense and protective as if she knew danger was near. The infant remained motionless in the woman's arms, no stir, no breath that could be seen clearly. That silence felt heavy. Melissa's heart pounded. She whispered softly, "Luna, stay close." Inside the small room, the fluorescent lights buzzed quietly. The woman, still clutching the baby, avoided Melissa's gaze. "This is unnecessary," she said sharply. "My baby is fine." But Melissa wasn't convinced. "We need to make sure, for her safety." Minutes later, the medical team arrived. 2 paramedics moved quickly, their expressions serious as they carefully examined the infant. Luna sat alert nearby, ears perked, eyes never leaving the baby. The dog's intense focus seemed to fill the room with tension. One paramedic said quietly, "She's sedated, pupils sluggish, breathing slow." Melissa's breath caught. Sedated? Who gave her medication? The woman's lips trembled. I didn't. The other paramedic shook his head. This baby's condition isn't normal. We need to get her to emergency care immediately. Melissa nodded, fighting back a rising wave of fear and anger. Luna growled low, her body stiffening. The dog wasn't just alert. She was warning them all. The woman looked desperate, her calm facade cracking. "You're making a mistake," she said, voice trembling. "My baby is just sleeping." Melissa stepped forward, voice firm. "This isn't sleep. Someone has hurt her." Luna moved closer to the baby, as if shielding her from harm. That protective stance was more than training. It was instinct born of pain and loss. Melissa glanced at Luna and whispered, "Good girl." The medical team prepared to move the infant carefully onto a stretcher. As they did, Luna's eyes locked on the woman, who suddenly stepped back, panic flashing across her face. Melissa held out a hand. "We need to talk. Now." The woman hesitated, then nodded slowly, the weight of truth pressing down. In that quiet room, the secrets hidden behind the woman's silence began to surface. Luna's barking had been more than a warning. It was the first step toward uncovering a dark truth no one expected. Melissa whispered to Luna, "We're just getting started. Girl, stay with me." Melissa sat alone in her small office, the quiet broken only by Luna's soft breathing beside her. The day's chaos at the airport replayed in her mind, and her thoughts drifted back to Luna's past, the shadows that shaped her partner's extraordinary senses. Luna hadn't always been a trained service dog. She was found as a stray, barely a year old, curled up beside a lifeless child in a forgotten apartment. The officers who discovered her were shocked, not just by the tragedy, but by the dog's fierce protectiveness. Luna wouldn't leave the child's side even after days of attempts to move her. She was wounded, but her spirit was unbroken. Melissa recalled the day Luna came into her life. "You're more than a dog, Luna," she had whispered, seeing the pain in those amber eyes. That pain had become a powerful gift. Luna developed a rare ability to sense danger, especially to children. It was as if the trauma had given her a sixth sense. "She's not just trained," Melissa told her colleagues once. "She feels it, when a child is in real danger, even if no one else sees it." That connection made their partnership unique. Melissa trusted Luna's instincts like her own heartbeat. Today's case was proof. The way Luna had fixed her attention on the silent baby was no accident. It was a warning from a soul that had known loss too deeply. Melissa reached down, running her fingers gently over Luna's head. "You've seen too much, haven't you, girl?" Luna's eyes met hers, filled with a quiet understanding. They shared a bond forged by trauma and healing, a partnership built on trust and unspoken communication. Melissa's voice softened, almost to herself. "We'll protect the innocent. Together." That night, as Luna rested by her side, Melissa felt a surge of hope. Despite the darkness they faced, Luna's strength and sensitivity were a beacon, a reminder that even the deepest wounds could become the source of the greatest courage. Melissa whispered, "You saved a life today, Luna. Not just any life. The life that needed you most." Luna's tail gave a small wag, a quiet answer to a promise that no matter what shadows lay ahead, they would face them side by side. Detective Harmon arrived with a quiet urgency, his face lined with years of hard truths. He sat beside Melissa, flipping through the files he'd gathered on Jessica, the woman pretending to be the baby's mother. His eyes darkened as he spoke. "This isn't just a simple case of false identity." Melissa listened closely, Luna resting her head on Melissa's lap, but alert, sensing the tension. Harmon continued, "Jessica Morris isn't new to the system. She was recently released from a psychiatric hospital after severe postpartum psychosis. Melissa's heart clenched. So, she's fragile, but why kidnap a baby? That's where it gets darker, Harmon said. A man named Dr. Nathan Chambers is involved. He was Jessica's psychiatrist. But he's not just a doctor. He's been manipulating her. Melissa frowned, her mind racing. Manipulating how? Harmon pulled up images and documents on his tablet. He exploited her mental state, convincing her the baby she stole is actually her own child. He told her that the system lies, that children are taken unfairly from mothers deemed unfit. Melissa shook her head. So he's playing with her mind? Yes, Harmon said grimly, using her delusions to control her. He's been involved in other similar cases, mothers caught in his web, all convinced their children were taken from them unjustly. Luna growled softly, as if sensing the evil behind the calm voice. Melissa's voice was low but fierce. How does this man get away with it? Harmon sighed. He's well respected with a history in psychiatry and consulting for child services. But behind the scenes he's been abusing that trust to manipulate vulnerable women and their families. Melissa's eyes burned with anger. We need to find him, stop him. Harmon nodded. We're already working on it, but Jessica isn't just a victim. She's caught in a twisted game, and Luna's instincts saved that baby today. Melissa reached down to stroke Luna's head. Good girl. You saw through the lies. Luna's amber eyes met Melissa's, steady and knowing. They were partners in a fight bigger than either had imagined. Melissa whispered, This isn't over. We have to untangle this web before more families get hurt. Harmon looked at Melissa, determination in his gaze. Together, we'll bring the truth to light. And with Luna watching close, their fight for justice had only just begun. The search warrant had been approved hours ago, and now Melissa stood with Detective Harmon and a team outside a small storage unit on the edge of the city. Luna sniffed the air, her tail low but alert, sensing the weight of what they were about to uncover. The door clicked open, revealing a cold, cramped space filled with dusty boxes and crates. Luna's nose twitched, and she moved forward, pausing by a pile of folders marked with dates and names. Melissa picked up a folder, her hands trembling. Inside were medical files, detailed notes on mothers and infants, many labeled subject for study or treatment plan. The papers described experiments with sedatives, behavior modification, and psychological tests that sent chills down Melissa's spine. Look at this, Harmon said, pulling out a vial of clear liquid. These sedatives match the kind found in the baby at the airport. Melissa's eyes scanned a wall covered with photographs, pictures of infants and mothers, some smiling, others looking tired or confused, all pinned alongside newspaper clippings and handwritten notes. Luna circled the room, her growls growing louder near a metal filing cabinet. Melissa opened the cabinet to find even more files, names, dates, and disturbing annotations about maternal reclamation projects. These were cases where vulnerable mothers had been manipulated into believing their children had been taken unfairly, just like Jessica. Luna's growl sharpened as she pawed at a section of the wall. Forensics quickly examined the drywall and discovered a hidden compartment. Inside were USB drives filled with videos. Melissa played one, and the footage was haunting. A doctor speaking softly to a woman, feeding her false memories and guiding her thoughts, twisting reality. Harmon's voice was steady, but grim. This wasn't just care. It was control. Abuse, disguised as treatment. Melissa knelt beside Luna, who sat alert and watchful. You led us right here, girl. You saw what no one else could. The team found plans for future reclamation attempts, blueprints to manipulate more women and take more children. Luna's instincts had not only saved one baby, but uncovered a cruel network of lies and exploitation. Melissa's voice cracked with emotion. We have to stop this. For every mother, every child trapped in this nightmare. Luna looked up, eyes full of fierce determination. The dog who once guarded a lifeless child was now the beacon of hope for those still fighting. To be heard, Melissa whispered. Thank you, Luna. This is just the beginning. The truth was unraveling fast. Melissa stood beside Detective Harmon as they pieced together the nightmare behind Jessica's shattered mind. Dr. Nathan Chambers' plan wasn't just about one woman or one baby. It was a twisted scheme to reclaim children from families he saw as unfit. Jessica sat in a small interview room, her eyes distant, hands trembling. She whispered, "They took my son. They said he was gone, but he's alive. I just have to get him back." Melissa watched quietly, understanding the pain, but knowing the danger. Jessica's reality was fractured, built on the lies Chambers fed her. Harmon leaned in. "Jessica, you're safe here. We want to help you understand what's real." Jessica shook her head. "No, you don't see it. Sophia isn't just my niece, she's my son Charlie. They hid him, but he's mine." Luna sat nearby, eyes never leaving Jessica. Her presence was calm but firm, like a silent promise of protection. Melissa felt a pang in her chest. This woman wasn't a criminal. She was a victim of manipulation so deep it twisted her whole world. "We have to move quickly," Harmon said. "Chambers' records show plans to target other women. Another case is scheduled next week in Seattle." Melissa's voice was steady but urgent. "If we don't act, more families will suffer." Behind the scenes, teams worked fast. Phone calls flew, warnings were sent, and search efforts expanded. Luna's nose twitched as they visited the next woman on Chambers' list. She was fragile, scared, caught in the same web of false hope and control. Melissa whispered, "We're here to help. You're not alone." The dog's gentle nudge seemed to give the woman courage to face the truth. Back at the station, Jessica's world began to crack. The support from Melissa and Harmon offered a path out of the darkness. Jessica's voice was soft but real. "I want to believe. I want my son. But I'm scared." Melissa reached out. "We'll help you heal, one step at a time." Luna lay close, a living reminder that even in the deepest shadows, hope could shine through. Melissa knew their fight wasn't over. But for the first time, the illusion was breaking, and real families could begin to heal. Ethan sat quietly on the soft hospital bed, his small hands clutching the edge. The boy looked tired and confused, his big eyes searching the room for something familiar. Luna lay nearby, her calm presence soothing the frightened child. Melissa knelt down and smiled gently. "Hey there, Ethan. I'm Melissa, and this is Luna. You're safe now." The boy's eyes flicked toward Luna. Slowly, he reached out a shaky hand and patted her soft fur. Luna responded with a gentle whine, nudging him with her nose. Melissa's heart ached. This little boy had been through so much, stolen from the only family he knew. But Luna's quiet strength was helping him trust again. Minutes later, a woman entered the room, tears streaming down her face. Christina, Ethan's real mother, dropped to her knees. "Ethan," she whispered, voice breaking. "My baby." Ethan looked at her, unsure. Years of confusion showed in his hesitant steps. But Luna nudged him forward, encouraging him to move closer. Christina wrapped her arms around him, holding him tightly. "I never stopped looking for you," she said, tears falling freely. Melissa watched, feeling both pain and hope. This reunion was fragile. Years of separation and false stories left deep scars. But here, in this quiet room, healing had begun. Christina looked up, her voice steady despite the tears. "Thank you, Melissa. And you, Luna. You saved my son." Melissa smiled softly. "Luna sees what others can't. She knows when someone needs help." Luna wagged her tail, sensing the love and relief in the room. The journey ahead wouldn't be easy. Ethan would need time, patience, and love to heal from the past. But this moment, their first true reunion, was a miracle born from hope and courage, Melissa whispered. "We'll be here every step of the way." As Luna rested her head on Ethan's lap, the bond between boy and dog grew stronger, a silent promise that no matter the darkness, they would face the future together. And for the first time in a long while, Hope filled the room, soft and bright, like the gentle touch of a loyal friend. The courtroom was quiet as the judge announced the verdict. The men responsible for the cruel manipulation and abuse were found guilty. Justice had finally arrived after months of heartbreak and struggle. Melissa stood quietly beside Luna, her heart heavy but filled with relief. Luna sat calmly, her amber eyes watching the proceedings. She didn't understand the words, but she knew this was a moment of victory, a chance to protect children like Ethan from harm. Melissa thought back to everything they had been through. The barking that broke the silence, the hidden secrets behind locked doors, and the shattered lives they had fought to heal. It was Luna's instincts and unwavering loyalty that had uncovered the truth no one else could see. After the trial, Melissa knelt beside Luna in the park near the police station. "You did good, girl," she whispered, stroking her fur gently. "You saved lives. You're more than a dog. You're my partner." Luna looked up, her gaze full of trust and love. That bond between them had grown through pain and hope, stronger than anything Melissa had ever known. Melissa sighed softly. "It's not just about training or skills, it's about trust. Trauma made you who you are, but it also gave you a gift, one that changed everything." The city felt quieter now, as if healing had begun. Families were reunited, children were safe, and Luna's story had touched many hearts. Melissa smiled as she watched Luna rest peacefully. "We've been through a lot, haven't we? But we did it together." Luna gave a soft bark as if agreeing. Melissa whispered, "You're not just a service dog, you're a hero." And as the sun set behind the buildings, casting a warm glow over the city, Melissa knew their journey was far from over. But with Luna by her side, there was nothing they couldn't face. Because sometimes, the deepest wounds create the strongest healing. And sometimes, the bond between a dog and her handler becomes a force for justice, hope, and love.